Good evening and welcome to the program. This is What's Your Story? My name is Catherine Mwangi. Today, we're here at the Villa Rosa Kempinski. So much gratitude to the management for giving us this ballroom to tape from. My guest is a gentleman I met during the COVID years. And I was moderating an event. He was one of the speakers there, and we had that connection and have since been connecting on LinkedIn. I see him there supporting everybody. He's the chairman and the chief executive officer of the Social Enterprise Society of Kenya, the umbrella body, the voice of social entrepreneurs in this nation. Mr. Peter Oloo, Ouma, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Catherine.
Yeah.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're wearing one of my favorite colors.
Oh, I'm happy.
Lavender.
Thank you.
Karibu sana.
Asante.
So we need to break down, first of all, what is social enterprise? So what does your organization do? And I have to let the audience know that that's not all he does. He has such a rich profile, which we shall get to break down. He sits in almost 1 million boards. You need to give us a secret to that. Yeah. But what is social enterprise, and how does the organization support social entrepreneurs?
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Thanks for the invitation to the show, my favorite show. I always watch. Good work you're doing.
Thank you.
So social enterprises are businesses which use business solutions to address social problems.
Oh, I see.
So social enterprises don't focus on maximizing profit only.
Okay.
Social enterprises struggle with this business of balancing profit with purpose. As you do your business, but you are also addressing environmental problems, addressing social problems and all that. It's not about profit only. It's about profit with purpose.
Wow. So it's then a very holistic approach to any business.
Oh yes, oh yes, yes. Oh yes. I think you are aware that the world, business have been there for so many years.
Yes.
But the world is still affected by social problems. So this is why this notion about social entrepreneurship, social enterprise was started, so that we used business as a vehicle to solve social problems, the world problems.
Yes. Okay. And you founded this organization when?
Wow, it's a long story. You know the iHub?
Yes.
Yeah, the iHub used to sit at Bishop Magwa in Ngong Road. So I used to work in there. It's a free space, free internet and all that. So they used to buy the daily newspapers.
Okay.
And as usual, the Standard has been my favorite newspaper.
Okay.
So I picked the Standard newspaper for that day. And then I saw an advertisement, by E4Impact Foundation, whereby they were inviting Kenyans to apply for an MBA program. Okay. Okay? So I applied for the MBA program. They required you to have like a business or even an idea. And of course, there was a template there, which you were supposed to fill.
Yes.
So I took it seriously because I've always been passionate about social entrepreneurship. So I took a photo of the Standard advertisement, and then now I submitted my documents, and then I was invited for interview. So that is the time I was also working on an innovation, a mobile application. How can Kenyans be able to monitor energy consumption at home remotely?
Oh wow, okay.
So I was working on a prototype. When the advertisement about the MBA program came through the Standard, I was working on a prototype, okay? A mobile app whereby you can be able to monitor how the maid is using the iron box, how much the fridge is consuming. Okay. So it was called the EMS. It was called, not EMS, it was, what was the name? It was called Energy Management System.
Yeah, EMS.
EMS, eh? Yes. That is the one. So I called it the app energy management system. So that was presented. That is what I presented for my MBA program. Okay. And luckily, I was one of the best. That was one of the best innovations. Yeah. So I was admitted to do MBA in social entrepreneurship. Okay. And I did my MBA in social entrepreneurship in 2016, 18 months at the Catholic University of Milan.
Hey, Italy.
With my mobile, with my mobile innovation. Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
So
that's the journey of how this social enterprise society of Kenya started.
Yes.
So in the 18 months when I was doing the MBA, when we graduated, then I started thinking, what next? So I started Googling social enterprise organizations in the world.
Okay.
So in the list Google gave me Social Enterprise UK,
Yeah.
Social Enterprise Alliance US, Social Enterprise Singapore. So that's when I came up with the idea of forming the umbrella body for social enterprises in Kenya. That is
Kenya.
2017. So we got registered in 2017 as a society.
Wow. So
Yes.
this is your 6th year.
Yes, yes, with about 250 social enterprises who are our members
Wow.
across Kenya, yeah.
In 250?
Yes.
In such a short span of
Yes,
time.
yes,
Well
yeah,
done, well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
So businesses exist, yes, like you said earlier on, to make money, but there's a flip side which has more purpose, which is using your business to solve, to give solutions to the problems that we face, environment, climate change, etc.
Yes.
So for you as the chairman and CEO of SESOK, convincing a CEO somewhere else in a company, let's say, I don't know, Standard Group.
Yes.
Let's use our company as an example. What exactly do you go say to them that makes, expands their minds to, yes, what you're saying makes sense, we want to be a part of that? How do you sell your vision to businesses?
Okay, yeah, so let me say it has not been easy to market this notion of social enterprise and social entrepreneurship. Many people don't understand
Yeah.
this thing about social enterprise,
Yeah.
social entrepreneurship. I'm sure even now, when I'm speaking now, maybe there are people who don't really, they're hearing this for the first time. So maybe I'll try to really unbank this notion.
Yes.
If you look at the savings and credit societies, which started so many years back, savings and credit society, what are called the cooperatives, are good examples of social enterprises because they focus on how they can be able to increase the financial inclusion and the financial capability of people, right from the grassroots, whereby you save, borrow, and and do something. So normally I try to use cooperatives as a very good example of social enterprises. In fact, if you go to countries like France, they are not called social enterprises.
Okay.
They are called, they are called what they are called social and solidarity economy, SSEs. Now, back to your question, if I was to pitch to a CEO of the Standard Group about SESOK or about social enterprise, I'll give you the example of Dandora. The Dandora, where it's called the dump site.
Yes.
Now, a social entrepreneur will focus on how he's able to use that dump site to make money, but also to solve the issue of pollution. And this is what I'll give an example of one of our members. What he's doing is that he's using the street children, train them, and let they go to the estates and pick the plastic bottles.
Okay.
Okay? Take to his factory in Kariobangi, clean those plastics, recycle, and build floor and manufacture floor tiles. And also manufacture fencing posts. So in that way, you are solving issues of pollution in the environment, but also generating income.
Yes.
So for this guy, he's giving employment to the street children, he's capacitating the street children, and he's also solving the problem of the dump site. You see?
Yes.
That is an example.
Yes.
I'll give another example. The We Center. They're not our members. The We Center is, they work with the different organizations like supermarkets or government agencies where they pick electronic, like computers, electric bulbs and all that. And then they pick this electronic waste, take to their factory and recycle and see how they can, those products can be, it's like a circular kind of economy kind of thing.
Yes.
So it's about solving social problems, electronic waste, plastic waste and all that. That is how exactly you look at social enterprises.
Yes, and you have 250 members.
Yes, social enterprise. And we actually do a lot of due diligence. It's not just like we go to the street and pick and say that this is a social enterprise. There's a process.
Okay.
So we look at the way your legal form, your legal status, and those are two different things, the legal form, the legal status, okay? And then now once we look at the way you are registered, then also come and see how you do your business. Then from there, we say that, yes, these are social enterprise.
And so that then tells me there is a difference, perhaps a huge one, between just being an entrepreneur and being a social entrepreneur.
Definitely.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So clarify the difference for us.
Now, social entrepreneurship is now the innovative ways of the activity. The activity of using a business to address social problem.
Got it.
The process of the activity, that is social entrepreneurship.
Got it.
Now, a normal business or a traditional business mainly focuses on making profit. It doesn't mind where the waste is going. Okay? A traditional entrepreneur doesn't mind how are the employees doing. Are they paid well? Are they happy? Social enterprises, you have to ensure that your employees are happy. Your waste disposal is the right way. Okay? The way from the supplies, actually, we also have the aspect of social procurement.
Okay.
When you are buying your raw material, you also ensure that these raw materials does not have effect on, emissions. Okay? So as you do your business, you also ensure that how am I meeting?
Yeah.
So that you also don't affect the climate.
The climate.
That is all about social entrepreneurship.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. I think then do you at times feel like as a nation we have quite a way to go in just enlightening our entrepreneurs on this next level of being engaged in social entrepreneurship?
Yeah, Catherine, being the chair and CEO of Social Enterprise Society of Kenya, one of the reasons why we formed the organization is to increase the visibility about the whole thing. One of our key roles as a society is advocacy.
Yeah.
And increasing this notion about social entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
And this is what we have done so far. When we got registered in 2017, we realized that Kenya doesn't have a legal framework. So you cannot register a business as a social enterprise.
Wow, okay.
That is one challenge first.
Okay.
So as we run the organization, we have got impact investors sending us emails, sending us WhatsApp message. I don't know how they got sometimes my numbers, of course, because I'm out there.
Yeah.
So we get requests in our emails that how can I start a social enterprise? What is the procedure? I'm looking for a social enterprise in Kenya, like an impact investor or an investor in Europe, in Asia, where?
Yeah.
And then now they realize that the business they want, we tell them, are not registered as social enterprise. So one of the key things we have worked on since 2020 is to advocate for the social enterprise policy.
Okay.
And this is where we are. I created a steering group bringing all the key stakeholders in the space. This is British Council, Ashoka, quite a good number.
Yeah.
Thomson Reuters Foundation. So I'm chairing that steering committee working on the policy. So we have done that, and then, we got some support, technical and funding.
Yeah.
Now we have a draft social enterprise policy for Kenya.
Right.
Okay? Which the Ministry of Industrialization is aware, because we have been working with them.
Where do you hope to take this? Like when you birthed this vision after your MBA in Milan, what was your end game? Where did you see this going?
First of all, I was looking at being one day to be like Social Enterprise UK.
Okay, and how is that?
Social Enterprise UK is the umbrella body for social enterprises in the UK.
Yes.
And I've met them, virtually and even physically in some events. They have really grown and they've really got a lot of support from the government. And with that, they have been able even to integrate social procurement in the way the government in the UK buy business. They buy socially. And what this means is, like for Kenya, you have this issue in the law that there's a portion of percentage of given to the youth in form of tenders. So in the UK and other countries, because we look at the legal framework of different countries, there's a portion for social enterprises. So in the whole value chain about the way government buys, they ensure that they also buy from social businesses. So we are looking at how we can be able to lift the raise of the Social Enterprise UK or Social Enterprise Alliance and all that. And the other thing that also we are really looking to achieve is this issue of having a legal framework for Kenya. Because with that, will be able to make it easy even for investors. Because you see, if you are not registered as a social enterprise and this investor has got some impact funds, it becomes a challenge for them to invest.
Yeah.
And let me, if you allow me, I can also mention that we are currently working on what is called the Impact Investment Kenya, and this be driven by the Global Steering Group, and I sit in that committee. So our chair is Mr. Arif Neki, who works at the SDG Philanthropy at the UN.
Okay.
And the idea here why we came up with Impact Investment Kenya is to synchronize all this funding ecosystem so that at least the impact investors, funders who want to support social businesses, we are the one-stop point as impact investment. So this is supported from the UN Global Steering Group, and we have been having our meetings all along, and we hope that this will really have take shape.
Wow,
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
Those are major milestones.
Thank you.
You know, in just 5 years, that's
Yeah.
a lot you
Yeah.
have done.
Thank you.
So, so you just walked into iHub one day and you happened to pick up the Standard and you saw this ad. So your life before your MBA, what was that like? What were you doing?
Yeah, so before the MBA, my first degree is in IT, BSc IT from Kenyatta University. And what I've been doing is that I'm a software engineer.
Oh.
Yeah, so what I do, even now, you know, I have a business that I run from my house, you know. I don't have an office. I do it from
You
home.
IT people work from anywhere.
Yeah. What I need is a laptop. That's enough for me. So I do innovations. I write software. For example, you know, like you, Catherine, you want to increase the visibility of what you do using technology.
Okay.
So I listen to your problem and then now come up with a solution to your problem. So I'm a software engineer. That is what I do. Yeah.
So that
I write code, I do that.
You do coding?
Yes, I'm a programmer myself.
Peter.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
So I'm happy I asked that question because no wonder then, because the innovation that you presented for this MBA, you said that it was for us to know how we are consuming.
Using your phone.
Yes.
A mobile app.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
is that on? Did you finally?
And unfortunately, something better came. So I didn't. Yeah, but then it's still there. I actually forked it. I put it in the App Store. Even if you go there and look for, you know, Nguvu, I called it Nguvu. I've just remembered Nguvu EMS, Nguvu Energy Management System. So with that, you can be able to. I was having this idea of using the concept of Internet of Things, whereby your phone like this, through the app, you can be able to connect to your fridge and switch it off. If you realize that, you know, the level of power consumption. On the app, you can see the dashboard, how all your appliances, the electric kettle, all the electric appliances at home. So you can be able to switch them on and off remotely.
So why would you not develop that, Peter?
I'll look at it again. It's really amazing. Yeah,
but you're really busy because, I mean, this is now when you tell us about the boards that you sit in. The one that stands out for me, obviously, is the one you're in charge now of the Climate Action Caucus at KEPSA.
Yes,
right?
Yes,
so climate has become such a big conversation globally. And for you to be chairing that committee within the Kenya Private Sector Alliance, for me, I think it's highly commendable.
Now, KEPSA works through, we have what are called sector boards.
Yes.
I think there are about 14 to 15 thereabouts. So we have KEPSA Environment Sector Board, where now I'm a member. Okay. Now, within the Environment Sector Board, we have subsectors.
Okay.
We have circular economy, we have water, we have climate change, and all that. So me, I am the chair of the Climate Change Caucus.
Yes. Of
course, with Emily and Wandaka as my bosses.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, within that, we have done quite a lot, Catherine, that I'm sure I can't finish now. But the latest that we have done, last year, I think it was around November, here in Kempinski, we launched this private sector strategy on climate change, which is very, very important. So the private sector in Kenya already have a strategy. And this was supported by the FAO, let me say the Green Climate Fund, the GCF, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, the Ministry, the National Treasury. There was a project, you know, what is called the NAP Readiness Project, whereby, to capacitate the private sector to be able to access the GCF funding. So under that project, KEPSA was the implementing entity.
Okay.
So I was deeply involved, in coming up with the strategy for the private sector, which is a document that I can share with you if you want. It's a public document. And then also here in Kempinski last year, we also launched the business case, guiding business in terms of how they can be able to get investment in climate change. So that is one of the things. But we have done so many things.
Yeah.
All these. We have done strategies. We have done some policy documents. We've done a lot under climate change.
Yeah.
Yes. And KEPSA, we are very happy that, His Excellency the President ensured that Climate Change Council is now very wise, is a whole department in his government. Because KEPSA sits in the Climate Change Council.
I see.
So we are very happy with what the president is doing,
Yes.
and we as KEPSA will really work with him very closely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So we are going to be taking a short commercial break. When we come back, we get to know how Mr. Peter Ouma Oloo, it's either Ouma Oloo or...
Peter Ouma Oloo is fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what his background was like, what was it like growing up? What were the experiences, in university like? Did he have the passion or enthusiasm to do what he's doing now? So we'll go into the personal side to his life right after this commercial break. Welcome back to the program. This is What's Your Story? I'm Catherine Mwangi, having an entrepreneurial conversation with the chairman and CEO of Social Enterprise Society of Kenya, Mr. Peter Ouma Oloo. Karibu sana from the break.
Thank you.
So, dealing with entrepreneurs, first of all, tell us all these boards that you sit in, by the way, before you even go to your background.
Yeah, but there are not very many.
There are so many.
Yeah, but let me mention the board that I'm really passionate about.
Okay.
Education for all children. Have you heard it before, Catherine, before today?
No, I heard of it when I read your profile this week, yes.
So IFAC, their family is called IFAC. IFAC is doing an amazing work. Okay. And I normally look at them as social enterprises. When they told me, they sent me an email that, because of what you do with the social entrepreneurship, social enterprises, we really request that we have a meeting with you. Yeah. And, we want you to be in the Kenyan board. Wow. So I looked at what they do, understood exactly what they, how they impact the world, the Kenya. And I said, oh my God, this is what I've been looking for. Yeah. So IFAC, in full, is Education for All Children. Okay. Is a US-based NGO with office in Kenya. What they do is that they support young, bright Kenyans from high school, from Form 1 to university. Oh, wow. Like now, the KCP results are out. Okay? So they look at this young Kenyans, boys and girls, identify them. They work with the schools, different schools, primary and high schools. All right. So that any child, any Kenyan child who has scored 350 marks and above and can demonstrate that he's from a very poor background, an orphan, and needs support, is paid for school fee from 1 up to university. Wow. Yes. That's amazing. Yeah, and this has been, I think they've been doing this since I stand to be corrected. I'm sure that maybe they'll be watching. But I think they've been doing this since 2014. Yeah. Yeah. And so far, good number of Kenyans. I think the first cohort are already working, and I'm very glad to be part of it. And my role in IFAC is mentorship. Oh. I mentor these young Kenyans for those who want to start business, but also I link them. We in the Kenyan board, our chairman is Professor Gateru, who is the VC of Riara University. Okay. Robert Gateru, that is our chair, amongst others. Yes. So we work with IFAC to support these young Kenyans in terms of mentorship, guiding them through. For those who want to start social enterprises, I help them to start social enterprise. And a good number have done that, by the way. you know, a good number of that start,
Yeah.
and some of them are even our members running
Yes.
social enterprises. But also we link them with internship opportunities. You know, when I was at the university, it was very hard to get attachment. It was very easy. You know, the company used to come and
Back then, yes.
But now you meet so many people. I'm sure even at the standard media, so many people are requesting and they're not able to get attachment. So we also help them and link them with corporates, you know, and government agencies for them to get attachment.
Yes.
Okay. On top of that, also, we for those who have started businesses, we link them with people who can support and fund those businesses. Yeah.
Wow.
So through the journey from high school, from one, we encourage them to start now. You know, if you're doing a course in IT or maybe you're doing a course in engineering, blah, you start thinking around how you can start a business. And you are guided through, you know, so that you can be able to graduate and you are already running a business. It must not be a social enterprise, whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
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 Wow, that's the one closest to your heart.
That is really, I'm really passionate about what I do at IFAC. Yeah.
Tell me about the other boards.
Yeah, so that is it. As I told you, I sit in the steering committee coming up with the Impact Investment Kenya.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, I'm
yes.
there. And as I told you, this is chaired by a gentleman from the UN. And the Impact Investment Kenya, like in Ghana, they already have a full-fledged Impact Investment Kenya.
Okay.
And just to, you know, for our viewers, maybe they are just watching us now, is that the whole idea about Impact Investment Kenya is to synchronize all these impact investment funds coming into the country into one-stop shop so that they can be able to be linked with businesses. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And this is being supported, you know, at very high level from the global GSG, Global Steering Group, and the UN ecosystem. Yeah.
So what I see with your life is the things that you have touched, the things that you have been drawn to, are things that have people, you know, like it's like people is the reason for your reason.
Very true, Catherine. If I look at how I grew up, I came from a very humble background, okay? And I think it's now time to give back to the society. I'm not saying this, I'm not, you know, I'm not a very wealthy person. I'm just, you know, I would say a hustler. Those many of those watching us now. But we have that privilege of doing what I do.
Yes.
So I think it's best to give back and support those who need help.
Yes.
So my focus is just to support those who want to come up and do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about people.
Yes, it's about people. Yeah.
So how did you grow up? Which part of Kenya did you grow up from? You said your beginnings were very humble. Tell me some good childhood memories.
Good. Yeah. So I grew up. I come from Nyanza.
Okay. So
I come from Homa Bay.
Homa Bay.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes. Homa Bay. Yeah. Yeah. So I grew up there, and then now up to for my primary school up to 5, and then from there I joined my dad. My mom was working those sides, but then now my father was working in Nandi Hills.
In Nandi Hills?
In Nandi Hills,
oh, wow,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So I joined my dad there in Standard 5.
So before you joined your dad, what are some of the childhood memories you had growing up?
Oh my God, I remember in the primary school life at home was very hard. We used to sit on there were no chairs, and the classrooms were mud.
Okay.
They were not permanent, you know. Those early days, you know, I mean, early 1980s, because I joined Form 1 in 1981. I joined Standard 1 in 1980.
Okay.
Okay, Catherine. So I'm talking about 1980, 81, blah, 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 up to Standard 5.
Okay.
So the classrooms were mud walls and mud floor. And there were no seats.
Okay.
Okay?
Right.
So we used that, and then now I remember we were being sent firewood to take firewood in the morning, go with the water, you know, and that water you are supposed to spray because of it's called what?
Dust?
Because of dust,
Okay.
yes. Okay? Yeah, so and then when sitting, you used to take the stones. We were sitting on stones.
Okay.
Okay? So I did, that was the lifestyle like up to Standard 5. And then I think when I joined my dad in Nandils, that is when now, you know, the TSS have got very good classes. Okay? And now we are having good desks, blah, blah. So I did my class 8 in 1989. you know, in 1989. And then from there, I joined high school. So I was in a school called Lelmokwo.
Okay,
Yeah.
in Nandi Hills.
In Nandi County.
Nandi County. Okay,
Yes,
Nandi County.
yeah, Nandi, yeah. So that is where I did my Form 4. And then from there, I qualified to go to the university. I was actually the top student.
Oh,
Yeah,
in your high school?
Yes. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so brilliant, sir.
Yeah, yeah. So I went there, and then I did IT.
So which university?
KU.
So you moved.
Yes, from
Right.
there I came to Kenyatta University.
Yeah,
to do
what-
my IT. BSc IT.
BSc IT.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what?
And I graduated with a honors degree, second upper. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So for you, education is a big deal, isn't it?
Oh yes, oh yes. I thank God. I thank God.
Yeah.
Despite that tough beginnings, at least God see me through, saw me through, and I'm here where I am today.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for entrepreneurs that are watching now, it's at the start of the year is still very young. And, you know, again, we know what's happening in the world with the recession and inflation, even where we are now. And, you know, businesses have been affected, right? How do you speak to an entrepreneur wanting to give up?
Catherine, business is not easy. Yeah? What has been my driving force is reading the history of people who have made it in business. The, you know, the Virgin Atlantic guy, the Tesla guy, you know, all this, and even Kenyans, you know, the Manu Chandarias. And what I've come to realize is that persistence and perseverance are the key thing in business. If you read their story, the business they're running now is not the business they started with.
True.
Many of them, they must have changed the businesses all over time.
Yeah.
They started doing this, then they realized it's not working. Then they said this. Because you see, what I've come to know about business is that whatever you think is good in your mind, for example, in the IT space, I talked about an Anguvu EMS system.
Yeah.
You know, to me, in your mind, and even you've just said, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
But do you know that when you push it out, you'll not get buyers? Yes, that is how business is. So it's so nice, it's so cool, and you think that, now the reality comes when now rubber meets the road. You want to get the initial customers. So that is where you'll find that, you know, there are no buyers, there are no customers. And then you realize, wow, I thought this thing can sell.
Okay.
Okay? Now, the other thing is that even if you get buyers and you get customers,
Yeah.
how do you scale? I know of businesses or even our social enterprises that they find that the demand is so high, but they don't have money to scale. That's also another challenge.
Yeah.
Another thing that also is very tough in business is the issues of tax. Okay? Multiple levels of tax.
Yeah.
So you find that with that, how do you price your product so that you can be able to pay tax, you can be able to scale, you can be able to reinvest the business,
Yeah.
you know, the profit you get into your business.
Yes.
Because as social entrepreneurs, the profit you make, like about 60% or 70%, and this one we have ensured that is capping the policy, about 60% of your profits is reinvested into the business. But you find that maybe you started off, the way you have priced your products, you are not able to meet all these demands. So business is not easy. You know, if you see people walking around there and, you know, and saying that they have made it, is not a one-off thing. It needs perseverance. We have what is called valley of death.
Oh.
The valley of death is like 10 years. If you can do business for 10 years and you've not failed, count yourself lucky. And if you've done it for 10 years and you've really moved and now you are succeeding, then you'll succeed. Yeah.
Wow, the value of death.
Yes, 10 years minimum.
Minimum.
Yes.
So when we see...
So with there, you'll be auctioned, you'll be stolen, you'll be closed, you know, all those things. Expect to go through that.
So it's not for giving up?
No. Business is not about giving up. Business is about perseverance. You have to persevere.
Are there courses taught? Does Tangaza have any courses along this?
Yes,
Oh, yeah?
yes. Oh, my God. I want to tell Kenyans and those listening that if you want to do MBA in social entrepreneurship, the best place to go for MBA is Tangaza. There is an Institute of Social Transformation which does MBA program in social entrepreneurship. It's a very nice course, okay? And I'll really encourage those people who want to really focus on social entrepreneurship to go to Tangaza or, just check Tangaza website.
Yeah.
Or Google Tangaza University College. They're in Karen, near Catholic University.
Yeah.
Actually, it's part of Queer. And then now you can start the MBA program. It's really amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah. And the other thing I also wanted to mention is that if any business out there want to start a social enterprise, talk to us. Social Enterprise Society of Kenya. We'll guide you through the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can they reach you?
Our website is, our email is info@socialenterprise.or.ke. Our website is www.socialenterprise.or.ke.
And of
Send
course,
us an email,
yeah,
and they can reach us.
and of course LinkedIn.
And of course, LinkedIn. Yeah, just Google Peter Oloo. You'll find me there.
He's a LinkedIn influencer.
Oh, yeah, LinkedIn. But I got some good followers there. Yeah,
Yeah,
But
you're
of course,
very modest.
I think you are ahead of me in terms of following.
No. I aspire to reach your levels, Peter.
In my journey in terms of social enterprise, social entrepreneurship,
Yeah.
I realized that there's a lot of people who can discourage you. Yeah, people will tell you, no, that thing can't work. So whenever somebody tells you that can't work, go ahead and do it and see whether it works.
I like that.
Because people will want to discourage you.
Yeah.
People will want to tell you this is not possible.
Yeah.
And all that. Do it, let it fail on its own.
But at least you have
But
done
at
it.
least you've tried.
Yes.
Yeah. But let nobody tell you that this can't work, this is not possible.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised that this person telling you that this can't work is going to start that idea, that's something somewhere. You'll just realize and see it on the social media that this guy already, but give it a different name. Yeah, it has happened. I mean, it happens. So it's always good to be on your own. And then, if you're in the social enterprise space, ensure that even the connections on LinkedIn, in social media, you have a lot of connection with people who are in your space. Are you getting it?
Totally.
Yeah. So these are the people you share and really know what is happening.
Yeah.
I told you I'm in 3 key areas. I'm in the social enterprise space,
Yes.
I'm in climate change space, and I'm in SIC. If you look at my friends and people I work with, are in those 3 areas.
Yes. What are your aspirations for your children? Because over and above everything else you do, you're also a husband and a father. And what I know, especially with parents, is yes, you do what you do because it gives you a sense of purpose and fulfillment. But also there's a huge part where our parents want their kids to be molded a certain way just by virtue of being an example. In which case, hence my question, what do you hope for your kids?
Catherine, as you can see, I'm not young, but also I'm not very, very old. God has blessed me with 5 children. And of course, I have my son in the university. Okay. And of course, others who are in high school. So, but what I've ensured me and my wife is that my children are modeled the Christian way. Okay. And my children are very, very, very much active in church. Okay. You know, the youth groups, the PMCs in Catholic, they're there. And I've ensured that all my children are baptized, all the process of. Actually, one of my sons is an altar server.
Oh, I see.
You see, you know, serving when the priest is there and, all that. He's waiting for his KCSE results. So what I've always ensured is that my children are modeled the Christian way. Why am I doing that? I have a belief and that it is only that you trust and believe in one God that many of these things you can be able to go through.
Yeah.
Okay? So that is one thing. And with that, God has never disappointed me and my family. There's a time I was looking at the school fee receipts and all that, and then I looked at the amount of money I've spent. I don't even know where that money came from. I don't.
Yeah.
But along the way, God provided. I think it's because, as I told you, I'm serving God. Yeah, I'm a church elder. And with that, God has ensured that my children are provided for my family. So for me, I've done my part, me and my wife, and God does the rest. Yeah.
That is so powerful.
Thank you.
I love that.
Thank you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And as you wind up, I just want you to emphasize a bit more on what you said about people who discourage you along the way, and especially people close to you. Someone who just decides that, no, you can't do that, it won't work. You know, a lot of people actually do not progress based on the wrong voices that they have adopted in them. And so you find, and some, unfortunately though, some of these voices come from people we really trust. You know, so if he says I can't do it, he must be right. Hanitaki maovu, anajua, he's advising me to, you know, I want you to hap that to people on just the value of believing in themselves and pursuing that which they know they need or ought to do.
Okay, so I'll say this. We all have friends, we have relatives, and we have all these people around us. But be yourself. Define yourself who you are. Once you understand who you are, then now make decisions based on who you are. But then, it's not wrong to console people. For example, let me give an example of when I was starting this body called Social Enterprise Society of Kenya. By the way, I don't get any salary from the society. I'm just volunteering. I have no pay.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't get any pay. But I'm very happy with the impact I've had. So when I was starting Social Enterprise Society of Kenya, I called for a meeting at Tangaza. That was in early 2017. I remember it was around January. And nobody came to that meeting. We had a WhatsApp group who have done the MBA program in social
I'm so
entrepreneurship.
sorry. You are alone.
Yeah, I was alone in that room, in the boardroom, in the class in Tangaza. So I went back home. I take some selfies in the hall and said, guys, I came here, I'm alone. I've not met anybody. I went back to my house. After another 2 months, I also called for another meeting. Now we were 2 people. We were 2 people in that hall in Tangaza. So we decided that the 3 of us are going to register the society.
Yeah.
So along the way, we didn't even know what to call it. Okay? But then we agreed that we are going to call it, we submitted 3 names to the SESOK society. Social Enterprise Kenya, Social Enterprise Society of Kenya, I don't know. There were 3 names. So the society gave us the approved Social Enterprise Society of Kenya. Now, the process of now building the brand has been the hardest part. Convincing people to work with us has been, because people don't understand what social enterprises are. So 2018, 2019, we are struggling to build the brand. Up to 2020, we are about 50 members. Now we are about 250 members. And what has really made us to grow is social media. What has built SESOK is the tweets and the WhatsApps and the Facebook and all that. Because people look, you know what you do in social media, you might not know who's checking, okay? So you put something there, for example, I was here, I just say that, but there I'll want photos, Catherine, so that I
Yes,
I
charity will ensure we get them, yes.
Let me have the photo so that I say that I was here. And tag the different, yeah. So with that, we started getting emails and calls that can we meet? And what really built Social Enterprise Society of Kenya is British Council. Yes. British Council are the people who have really helped us to grow by bringing all the connections.
Okay.
Social Enterprise World Forum, Impact Africa Forum, all that.
Yeah.
And even working on the policy, the legal framework, British Council. With that, we started working with Ashoka, Thomson Reuters Foundation. And now, let me tell you, Catherine, now, I used to do about 100 tweets. Yes, in a day, tagging different people. Wow. Nowadays, I don't even do that much. It's people who tag me and call me and.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So back to your question about these people who tell you don't. Please hear them, don't answer them, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
That is how it is.
I like that.
Yeah.
Go with the flow of your conviction.
Yes.
Yeah.
And be passionate about it.
Yeah.
It will work.
I love it.
Yeah.
But Mr. Ouma, thank you so much for coming to What's Your Story today. At least you've enlightened us on social enterprise and entrepreneurship in general. And also just speaking about your family. And I just love your heart for people. And that your vision is very closely tied to just seeing somebody else elevate, somebody else, you know, have aspirations to also better their lives. I absolutely love that. And
actually, it's my key. What drives me are people, planet, and profit.
people, planet,
The triple
and profit.
bottom line. People, planet, and profit.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank
yeah. So tupatane to LinkedIn.
Is okay. It does it. And I'll keep liking your posts and tagging you and all that. Yeah. You're also doing amazing stuff. By the way, Catherine, you are invite classes with another key thing that I was supposed to, but I canceled the other. Because I really respect what you do at the Standard Media and keep doing it because I'm sure that people learn from what you do.
Thank
the show.
you.
It's very, very important.
I appreciate that.
You.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you to you for making the time tonight to watch the program. It goes up on YouTube now, and there's a repeat this coming Saturday at 6 p.m. Social media platforms, KTN Home _, that's on Instagram and Twitter, and on Facebook, it's KTN Home. Thank you. Peter is on LinkedIn as Peter Ouma Oloo. Yeah. You'll see him, Peter O. Oloo.
Peter O. Ouma.
Peter Ouma.
Yes.
Yes. So you find him there. He's very responsive. And should you have any questions, that is where you find him. Or if you don't get him there, a lot of you send me DMs. So you can do that, and I'll just forward that to him. Have yourselves a wonderful night.